there's no better time to start talking about our work, our participation in OAM program, the learning, and the take home from every conversations with our mentor than now. So of course we should be proud of what our community and a platform like this looks like. So it behoves on us as OAM fellows to start sharing and posting, the conversation that we'll be having starting from now on our different social media platforms. So what I want to say is that henceforth, I know some people have started already, but it's also important for us to re-emphasize this, that we should start talking about the conversation that we are having every day. So that's what I want to say. And I want to note that we have a general hashtag that we've adopted, and it's OAM Fellow. So for every of our posts that is related to One Earth Advocacy and Mentorship Program, let every conversation carry the OAM Fellow hashtag. I hope that is noted. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So now, social media and healthcare are a powerful combination, of course. Social networks have become an important healthcare resources, and not just for our contemporary society alone, not just for young people, the adults also, they are using social media to seek for information and to share health information. Just look at the current health state that we are right now. It reminds us the need to think about interdependencies that exist between One Earth community and social media. Take a look at it. We have more people online, more than ever before, as a result of this pandemic. I hope you all agree with me. We see people going online to seek for information on how, to avoid the coronavirus pandemic, and people want to know the cases, how the cases are rising across the globe every day. So people are turning to online social media platform to get all these information. Now, this is even likely going to continue after the pandemic, because the late adopter of social media, they will likely want to, after they've reaped the dividends of this, the dividend of using online platform during this pandemic, they want to continue because they know what the social media can do for them. And in the rapidly evolving world of social media, we need to see that people are championing laudable causes on this platform too. And as a matter of fact, social media serves as a means of livelihood to many people around the world. And that is why it's important for us to leverage on social media platform. Now, the interactive nature of the social media combined with increasing global internet access provide the One Earth community with opportunity, to meaningfully expand their community and promote their message of hope, healing, and safety, of course, for the community that they represent. And now, for the advocate, when we are talking about social media and its relevance to health advocacy, we're going to be considering a lot of things. And it would be nice if you have any questions or contribution, just go to the chat session and note down your point. So this is the first question. What is advocacy campaign? I know most of us, we are already fully involved in advocacy campaign, and it would be good for us to reiterate what advocacy really means. So for us to understand what advocacy campaign is, we need to map out our theory of change. And when I say theory of change, for this training, for the sake of this training, we're going to be looking at what is your overall mission? Like, what are you really doing? What do you want to achieve at the end of the day from your campaign? And the first thing, for instance, for this our campaign that we are doing, our overall goal is to build a strong community of young professionals in One Earth. And that is why One Health Development Initiative decided to bring together a community of young professionals in One Health. So that is our overall goal. That is what we want to do. We want to increase the voices of One Health professional across the globe. We want to create visibility for the kind of work they are doing. So that is the first thing that you need to be able to identify what your overall goal is all about. It could also be to build a more open society. This is another instance. We see today that Nigerians, they are demanding for open society. They want to hold their leaders accountable, especially our politicians. They want to hold them accountable. They want them to be able to give account of how their budget is being spent every day. We are looking for an open society. That could be another mission for your campaign. Another thing is that what are your objectives? When we are talking about objective, of course, how do you achieve your overall mission? For the OAM fellowship mentorship program, we want to provide, one of the things we want to do is to provide a platform for learning and interaction. And that is why you're going to be engaging with your mentor periodically. So that is one of the objectives. Another thing is to engage professionals in social media advocacy, and also to establish and engage beneficiaries on a mentorship program. So in essence, what I'm saying is that this objective will help us to actualize our overall goal of building a strong community. And another objective could be to cut legislators' budget or to reduce their allowances. Of course, if we want to build a more open society, citizens are demanding that our legislators, they are earning too much. They should cut or reduce their allowances, their monthly allowances. For us to understand the concept of advocacy campaign, another thing is for us to map out our main strategies. How do you navigate each of these objectives? What do you want to do to achieve each objective? The first thing is, for the OAM program, the first thing is to set up a mentorship program, which we are doing at the moment. The second is social media advocacy, and that is why we are receiving this training. We want to be able to amplify, the work that we are doing. We want to talk more about our learning, our experiences. I want to create visibility for the kind of work that we are doing. And another thing, to be able to build a strong community of young professionals, is that we are also recruiting volunteers. That could be another strategy, that I want to bring volunteers together to write and to talk about these issues. That is what another important thing in your advocacy work. Of course, another thing could be to mobilize the community of people. For you to build a more open society, we want governments, politicians to cut legislators' budget or reduce the allowances. And to do this, we have to mobilize society to speak up, to ensure that legislators or politicians, they listen and cut their budget. Now, we need to understand this, and this is the most important aspect of every advocacy campaign that we are doing. Where does communication happen? It's important. If you can answer this, then I think we're good to go. Where does it happen at these levels? Communication, where does it happen? We need to understand that identifying the channel where this communication will take place is important. For instance, if we want to reach out to people in the local areas, of course, we know that we might be considering using radio to reach out to people in the rural area. Taking for instance, a Fulani herdsman in a village, it doesn't have Android phone, it does not have electricity, so he can't even watch television. All he has is just a transistor radio, and that is the only platform we can use to reach out to him. But for our politicians, we see that most of them, of course, they are on social media platform. Our stakeholders, partners, organizations that we want to create attention. We want to grab their attention. I want them to listen to what we are talking about. Most of them, they are on social media platforms, and that is why we need to identify the platform that we want to use and how to reach out to them. And of course, for the sake of this our program, we've chosen Twitter as the strongest platform to reach out to them. We are going to know why we've chosen Twitter later. Yep. Now, what is advocacy campaign? Advocacy is all about speaking up. I know most of us, we started this course long ago, so the advocacy is not new to us. We've been drawing community attention to an important issue. We are directing decision makers to a particular solution, and it is working with other people and organizations to make a difference. And that is why advocacy is all about collective effort. There's no one-man advocacy, as a matter of fact. So you need to gather people like allies that will be working with you to amplify the issues, drawing their attention, and also making a call to action. That is one of the most important things in every advocacy. You need to have a call to action at the end of the day for people to be able to support you and pledge their allegiance to the kind of things that you are talking about. So yeah, basically, that's what advocacy campaign is all about. Now, why social media? Because some people, they are laggards, of course. Some people are laggards. They don't really believe much in social media platform. And but why have we decided to use it? Some people believe in offline advocacy face to face. It works, of course, but the truth is that offline advocacy cannot really survive without social media advocacy. Because when you are doing your offline advocacy, what happens? Only you and maybe your colleagues, you go there and that will be all. And after you might have left the place, you realize that the stakeholder that you went to meet, maybe the lawmaker that you went to meet, or the minister that you went to meet, you forgot about it totally because you are not reminding him about it. You don't even sometimes you don't even have the opportunity to reach out to the person, to your audience. You don't have the opportunity to reach out to the audience, and it becomes difficult for you to follow up on the action plan after your face-to-face conversation. Now, why social media? The first thing is that we have opportunity of a platform. Yeah, the platform is there. For instance, let's take Twitter. We have Twitter as a platform, and Twitter has different audience, varied audience. And you should be able, for every of your advocacy campaign, you should be able to identify who your target audience is. So we have audience and we have target audience. Now, it builds on you to be able to identify who your target audience is for every advocacy campaign. So I know that you're going to be carrying out different campaigns during the course of your learning. And for every of the campaign, for every of the Twitter chats too, especially when it involves advocacy, Twitter chats could be around providing information to people. It could be you demanding something from government, holding them accountable on something. You must have target audience for every of your campaign. So we have a platform, we have audience. There's also an issue that you're talking about, and that is what we are drawing people's attention to, and that is why we are using social media. Of course, social media has people there, millions of people that are using every platform every day. Of course, I do believe that the most in the world today, when you ask people, most populated country in the world, people will tell you India, China. Of course, people have forgotten about social media. There are people also live there. Like that is what some people do. They do social media, nothing else. We have the last time I checked statistics, we have more than 4 billion people using social media, 4 or 5 or thereabout. And that is the opportunity why it's important for us to use this platform to actualize our advocacy campaign goal. Another thing is partner. of course, as Forum Fellow, it's important that we know that every fellow is a partner of another. So we're working together as a group, and they are our allies. So on social media platform, you can get people that, they share the same bias with you, like the kind of work you are doing, you can easily relate with them. When you are when you want to send out a message, you can tag these people. They will retweet, they will like, they will comment. These are partners that, what you are saying really resonates with them. And they want to help you to amplify those things. You can easily get it on social media platforms, which might be difficult in face-to-face, advocacy kind of campaign. Another thing is relationship. People build relationship on social media platform, and and that is why you see people follow you, you follow back. That is relationship you are building. And viral. Another thing is viral. Today we see that on social media platform, something can just go viral. You can see a video trending, you can see a tweet about someone trending. 2 days ago, it was Bello El Rufai that was trending on social media platform because he messed up. It was trending on social media. So there's nothing that is really a secret on social media platform. Once you put it out there, it has the potential to go viral. Right now on Twitter, if you check Twitter now, what is trending? I'm trying to check. Anatomy is trending. Lockdown with Tony Abraham is trending. Both is trending. There are many other things that are trending on social media platform. Every advocacy campaign that will be embarking on in the future has the potential also to trend for every good reason. So of course, people trend for good and bad. So I'm just saying that your campaign too has potential to trend, and that is why we are using social media campaign. And at the center of them all is leverage. We need to leverage all these opportunities because this is a window of opportunities that we have. You need to leverage the platform, the audience that you have, the people, the partner, the relationship, and the potential that your message, your campaign can go viral and people can listen to it and people can take actions. In the past, we've seen some campaigns like Bring Back Our Girls. We've seen campaign like End SARS campaign. They went viral and actions were taken as a result of these things. So it's also important for us to know that we have a platform that we can leverage on. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah,
Now,
me too. Thank you.
thank you. Now, element of social media advocacy messages. For every element of social media advocacy messaging, for every advocacy message, there are some important elements that they must possess. The first thing is that your message must be conversational. When you're having a face-to-face interaction with someone and you're expecting feedback, like it must be so compelling enough that the person reading it will want to respond to you because it's really making sense. So it must be in such a way that it is conversational, just like when you are reading some storybook and like the message is talking to you personally. Your message, the advocacy campaign message must be what? It must be conversational enough for people to want to engage and respond to it. Another thing is that it must be urgent. And when I say urgent, it means that it must have a call to action because your advocacy cannot be devoid of call to action. What do you want us to do at the end of the day? We want you to pass this law. We want you to implement this policy. We want you to sign this petition. Those are what call to action. They are urgent. Every advocacy message must possess those qualities of urgency, or the quality of urgency rather. It must also be personal. You might want to share a real life story of yourself, that of another person, that of a friend, that and these kind of messages, they tend to inspire other people to want to talk more and to join you in your conversation. Also, make it emotional. Of course, when I say emotional, I mean that your message must be such that it's want to make people to really be part of the conversation you are having. And it must be authentic and credible enough. When I say this, for instance, on Twitter, I know that if I want to get information around let me say, if I'm looking for a life coach, a coach, or a business idea on Twitter, I know some people's page to check. I can decide to check Ogbeni's Depot page if I'm looking for information around business, entrepreneur, and entrepreneurship, and career coach. I will check Ogbeni Depot. If I'm looking for information around scholarship, I can decide to check. I'm looking for information on scholarship. I can decide to check Tunde, Tunde Fash. Yes, his name is Tunde Fash. I can decide to check Moment with Brain on Twitter, because these people, they are credible and authentic enough, and people want to go back to their timeline when you are missing a particular information around the area where they specialize. If I want information around politics, or if I'm looking for a political analyst on Twitter, I can decide to check Dr. Joe Abba. We have a lot of people online that are credible and authentic, and people always want to, people always look forward to their content online because over time they've built this credibility. Your content must also be relatable. It must be relatable. It must be relevant, of course, to the kind of audience that you have. And that is why if you build a community of audience that don't really what do I want to say? If you build a community of audience that don't share your opinion, that don't share your school of thoughts, you are not likely going to have an engagement. And that is why what I do is that I follow people that I know they do the kind of things that I work on. People that I want to learn from, people that are in development space. Those are the people that I follow most times. So your story will always be resonating with them always. They want to engage with your content. So someone wanted to ask a question. Hello? Okay. So another thing is that another element of social media advocacy message, of course, is that you must make it safe for them. Like when I say for them, I'm currently working on a project with some people right now. We are working with girls in 2 states, and what we are doing is that we are trying to share stories of rape survivors. So we are collecting stories and we are sharing. We are making the stories anonymous. So what I'm saying is that we are using young girls to collect the stories of rape survivors. When we say making your platform, your social media platform, and your content to be safe for people, it means that, for instance, the project I'm working on, what we do is that we collect stories of these people. We tell them in the content that your name remains anonymous. We are not sharing their name. No one is knowing whose story we are sharing. We ensure that their privacy is protected. We are just sharing the story to inspire others, to tell them that you are not alone. The same thing should be the case, that every advocacy campaign, every advocacy message must be a safe space for people that are part of your conversation. Also, use available spaces. And when I say this, I mean that we need to leverage on different international days of actions that we have. Of course, just last week, or when was that? April 7th or 8th was World Earth Day, and that day people were talking about nurses and midwives and how people should give support for them. On that day, people are talking about different things as it concerns their work. We also need to learn how to, use international days of actions to amplify the kind of work that we are doing. So your advocacy campaign must have all these important elements in order for it to be successful. So why are we using Twitter? As simple as this. Social media, is very important in advocacy. And you can see the statistics. The statistics we have here is that about 78 or 75% of advocacy organizations, they are using Twitter to carry out their advocacy campaign, followed by Facebook, followed by LinkedIn. And that is why we know that Twitter opens a wide range of windows of opportunity for us to be able to channel our advocacy campaign whenever we want. People will listen. One thing I like Twitter is that, it's just like CNN. It's just like BBC, CNN. You see stories, issues breaking every time. And you see trending. Just as I said earlier, our campaign has the potential to also go viral, to trend, because Twitter is actually very important for people to join your conversation. What is happening on Twitter today, it might take Facebook next week to get to see it, or some hours later for them to see it. And that's why it's important for us to leverage on Twitter as a platform to strengthen our advocacy. Now, so there are some tips for successful engagement as far as advocacy campaign is concerned. So one of the tips that we are going to be using during the course of our engagements on this mentorship program is Twitter chat. And when I say Twitter chat, I explained this a while ago, that Twitter chat is just like a television, our everyday television interview, where we have a guest and host. And you see both of them having one-on-one conversation. Someone is asking a question, someone is replying. The same thing with Twitter chat. It's just more of an online platform where someone is asking a question. Like when I'm talking about everyday Twitter chat, you see two people, a guest, and a host. Now, to organize a Twitter chat, how do you organize it? The first thing is that you need to invite people to join your conversation, because you can't leave people out of it. But these days, Twitter chat is actually expanding its scope. People are having more guests to join the conversation. Today, you just have one host and you have many guests. You can have as many as 20 people talking about the question. Answering your question. You can have as many as 40 people answering your question. So it's important that we understand the concept of Twitter chat. So another thing is that when you are organizing a Twitter chat, you need to find an hashtag to use. When I say an hashtag, the way an hashtag works, just like what you're seeing on the screen, hashtag cancer, hashtag MCF Summit 2018, like every Twitter chat must have an hashtag. For that people will use to join the conversation, and that is when your conversation can trend. And of course, why is an hashtag important like that? Because it enables people to really mark and listen to the kind of thing you are seeing. Because once I click on an hashtag, people see every conversation that has happened using the hashtag. So an hashtag is very important. And just this image by Nigerian Health Watch shows how a typical Twitter chat flyer looks like. And another thing is another tips for successful engagement and discussion on social media is you can do a survey. You do a survey of people. I have something like an example here. Let me play this video and the video shows us how we can do a survey or a poll on Twitter. Let me quickly play. I will have to have a video. Let me quickly go back and get the video, please.
Okay, Bayo, well
Yep.
done. I've been sending you a message in your chat, but you've not been seeing. Just want to let you know that you have about 10 minutes more. Less than that, actually.
Oh, 10 minutes?
Less than 10 minutes more.
I thought it's supposed to be an hour.
Because we still have question and answer session. So
okay, so let me just show you how to create a Twitter poll. Okay. Okay, so basically, how to create a Twitter poll.
is your video not playing?
Yeah, you can see it, right?
No, we can't see your video.
Okay, I'll have to share. Just give me 1 minute. I'm trying to share it. Sorry about that. Can you see it now? Is it playing?
I think I can see it.
Okay. Okay, fine. So
Can anyone else see it? Because I can't see it.
I can't see it too.
Oh, okay.
I can't see as well.
okay.
So who can see? I can see an outline though, but I can't see like the video itself.
Oh, it's a video, and I shared it.
Has it started playing from your side?
That's ended.
You should stop sharing this slide and then share the video. Stop sharing, then share the video separately.
It's just
okay.
20.
Because we can still see the PowerPoint.
Yes, just
so now share the video.
Just I'm doing that already. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Just 22 seconds video. Okay, so people also use Twitter poll to start a conversation on their platform. And of course, sometimes you get responses like in thousands. People get to respond to the kind of question you are asking before you start any conversation. Another thing is that even while doing a Twitter chat, you can include a Twitter poll just to, to do a survey and to know what people are thinking about a particular issue that you are talking about. So I'll quickly continue with my presentation. Okay. So another thing is apply the principle of keys. When I say keys, it means keep it short and simple. We know that on Twitter, we have limited space. Twitter can accommodate 280 words. So 80 characters, sorry. Twitter must be meaningful in 280 characters. And another thing is that when you have more than 280 characters to type or many things to say, you can always thread. You can thread your content. You can always thread it. Use hashtags that relate to your advocacy or campaign too. The hashtag must be one that relates to the kind of campaign you are doing. You also have to promote other people's content. Like when you are engaging with somebody's content over time, the person will get to what to also be engaging with you. When you follow someone will follow you, and that is what it means. Even if it's just a like, a retweet, a comment, that's how you engage with other people's content. And I also want to say that as one fellow, it's important that we endeavor to follow ourselves on Twitter. So that you'll be seeing the conversation that other people are talking about and you engage in it too. So please endeavor to follow yourself. There was a document that Dr. Kiki shared earlier on that we've all inputted our different social media handles. So just go there and follow yourself. Post what is good for the society too. Respond to mention. This is very important that when people mention you, when people tag you in a content, is because they really want to hear your opinion. They want you to talk about it. So even if it's just with a like, just as I said earlier, respond to every mention on your timeline. Sometimes you don't have graphics, you don't have videos to really depict the kind of things that you want to say. You can use GIF. You know, we have GIF in on Twitter. So Twitter enables GIF. So you can easily use GIF to demonstrate the kind of situation that you are depicting. So, I mean, I know you understand what I really mean by GIF. Ask for feedback too. You can do a Twitter storm. So when I say Twitter storm, it's another tip for a successful social media engagement. Twitter storm takes the form of all OAM fellow coming together by 1 p.m. and they are tweeting the same content at the same time, using the same hashtag, and people are retweeting about it. I mean, on What Earth Day, you saw What Earth Day 2020 trending. It's like a Twitter storm because people are really talking about What Earth Day. That's the Twitter storm. People are talking about it and it trended for the whole day. You can also decide to do a Twitter storm that you storming the Twitter and you talk about those issues that are so important to you. So that is what it means. Also, you can decide to do this on any international days of action. Also follow people in the industry, use emoji. Find the best time to post depending on when your fans are online. Like I did a quick check for one of the social media platforms that I handle, and I found out that the best time to actually post is 12 p.m. It's 12 p.m. on that platform. When we share posts during that period, people tend to engage a lot with the content. So you might want to do this too, to be able to generate lots of engagement. Yes, how to effectively use social media. You have to be responsive, use photos and videos in your post. The best engagement actually comes when you have videos or photos to go with your content. Have you ever imagined on Facebook when you just, of course, on Facebook, it works sometimes when you post and without any picture or video. But on Instagram, can it work? No, because Instagram is all about pictures. But on Twitter, you must be able to blend both together, like having content and photo or video to support your content too. So when you have video or pictures to support your content, it goes well and people tend to engage and interact with it the most. You can always get free pictures online on stock image to use as part of your campaign. Also, you need to start using social media with who you know. Your friends, organization that you know, people that you know can always share what you have. Another thing is that follow back and share too. This is, I said, to start, I realize that some of us, we don't really have much followership. So what we can do is that for you to get people to follow you, you also start following people, start engaging, start liking, start commenting, start sharing. That is how you can really build strong social media followership. The first thing is that don't overuse hashtag. Twitter can decide to hide your handle on Twitter. If you are using too much hashtag, like some people, you see them, you just put 10 hashtags together, they'll be using. No, it doesn't work that way. Twitter can make your handle to be invisible if you are using too much hashtag because you are overusing it, and that is not going to work. Most time, Twitter is out for business, and they believe that hashtag is meant to promote a content. So the best hashtag to use is 1, 2, it's fine. Maximum of 3, it's okay. But when you're having 10, 8 hashtag in a content, it will get to a time that no one will see what you are talking about. You will still be existing, but no one will really get to see it. So, and that is even worse when it's Facebook. You see that when you use plenty hashtag on Facebook, just 3 people will like you. So know how to maximize the usage of hashtag. Liking your own post also, it doesn't really, I don't know, it's always awkward when I see people liking their own post. Those are the don't of social media. You don't have to connect with everyone. They can give you headache too. I think I have like 5 minutes or so. Not responding at all. Ensure that you're responding, to people that mention you, that want you to join a conversation. You don't have to respond to everything, but respond to those things that matter, those things that that can be used to amplify your voice too. That is important. And of course, that would be the end of my presentation. I welcome questions from you. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bayo. Quickly, and the last page you shared, are you saying we should not like our own posts? I didn't get it well, please.
Okay, well, it's not a total don't, but I just say that it's sometimes awkward when you are your only fan. When I say don't like your post, is that get people to like you, because have you ever seen people that all they get is just one like, and the person that likes the post is they themselves, right? So what I'm saying is that build a community of people that can engage and interact with you.
Okay.
And not that it's only you that will be liking your post always, all the time. So it gets so boring when people see that it's only you that is liking your post. It means that your post is not really engaging, it's not making sense to people. So you must be able to build that strong community of people that can always interact with you. I hope that's understood. Okay.
You check your chat. There is a question from Anwar.
Okay, I'm really trying to do that. Okay. Control chat. Sorry. Okay. Wow, many questions. I'm trying to get your questions. Sorry. Thank you for your building credibility and reputation on social media takes a lot of effort. Any idea of how long it will take to achieve that? Following these tips consistently. Okay, so when I said credibility, the first and the most important thing about credibility is consistency. Okay, and you have to be consistent. And just as I mentioned earlier, that there are some people on social media today that when you're looking for a particular information, you can always go there to check the information, and you'll be sure that what they are saying is true, is genuine, right? And over time, these people, they don't dilly-dally, like they are consistent, they stay focused on the kind of thing they are saying. They've turned to thought leaders in that area, and that is how you build credibility over time. And people will get to follow you. They will be stalking you. They'll be stalking you, and a time will come that someone will be telling you that I've been following you for a while now, and because of this, you are really doing a great job. The most important and the only thing, as a matter of fact, is for you to be consistent. Research the kind of thing you are working on. You need to know it very well too. Research it, share information, be consistent. Because when you check some people's platform, you see that the last time they posted was perhaps last year. Maybe this year they've only retweeted once. People cannot take you serious because they feel that you don't really have much to say. But people that have built credibility and they have reputation on social media platform, you see that these are people that every day, periodically, they share information that will benefit the community of followers that they've built. So consistency is very important. And also, you need to also put your voice on a conversation that is trending, that matters to you. Like 2 days ago, when people were talking about Bello El-Rufai, when he was talking about it, you see that many people were joining the conversation. And it's that kind of conversation that you will be looking forward to. If it's something, a conversation that you really like, you'll be looking forward to such, and you add your voice to it. And I mean, people will get to also engage with you, and that is how you build street credibility on Twitter and other social media platforms. Consistency, basically. Okay. Of course, yes, you can get the slide after the presentation. Okay, so someone is asking, you're asking if you can message friends and followers to participate, like send DMs. Yes, that is very correct. Like I have instances, even donors, they message individuals, they message organization they support to participate in a Twitter chat. They send us message that please like the post that we made, retweet the post that we make. So it's very normal when you tell your friend and followers to participate in their DMs. It's fine. You can do that. It's acceptable to do that. I have a suggestion. In addition to Unfollow, can we start using 1F2? Of course, just as I said, you can use hashtag like 123. It's acceptable. Unfollow is the one for, I mean, just for people to know that there's a community called Unfollow, and you can start adopting 1F2. But it's always good when you have an outstanding hashtag that no one has been using in the past, so that when you want to track the level of your impact, you can easily do that. I did not talk about this, but there are different tools that you can use to measure your impact on social media platforms. We have Keyhole, we have Keyhole, we have Mention, we have other social media analytics tool that you can use just by putting your hashtag to measure what you are doing. But when many people have used the hashtag in the past, you're likely going to be getting results of what other people have done and not yours. So that's why Unfollow seems to be outstanding. If you go on any of the social media analytics to check what we've done so far, you will see that it's basically going to give us content from you, from you as Unfollow, and from One Earth Development Initiative. So of course, we can also leverage on 1F as an hashtag. Yeah, it's also acceptable. It's fine. Okay, how do one get many followers? Just as I said, if you want to get many followers, you need to be consistent. That is number one thing. You need to be consistent. You need to like what people are saying too. I mean, like what you are saying, they are saying. Also follow other people too. If you want people to follow you, if you want people to follow you, you just have to follow them too. So follow other people, like what other people are saying, jump on trending hashtag. That is very important. When an hashtag is trending, jump on it, say something about it. I mean, something that makes sense that people will want to like and retweet. So basically, be able to gain more followers as a result of that. We're going to have a Twitter chat demo before our first official. Twitter chat demonstration before first official Twitter chat engagement in ORM. Well, I can get one for you. I should be able to look out for one. A Twitter chat demo before the first.
I think what sorry Bayo, sorry to cut you short, to interrupt you.
Okay.
I think what he's asking is if we're going to have like a practical Twitter set, like a demonstration before we start our official Twitter engagement on Twitter. So the answer is, now that you mentioned it, I think it's a very good idea, because I know that according to the work plan, the plan was to start the Twitter chats by this week, but I figured out that since we postponed this training until from last week till this week, that it would be too much of activities for us to do. So I moved our first official Twitter chats till next week. So if we can have one, let's say by this Friday, let's say we'll choose the time maybe between 4 to 5 p.m. And then we can just have like a Twitter chat on the OHAM Fellowship, what it means, what we are going to do, and the rest, something that we can all work together on. So that will serve as a demo before we now proceed to the other major Twitter chats we'll be having concurrent as the weeks go by. So do we all think it's a good idea?
Yes, it's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll send an email or a Slack message in response to this or to finalize this. Okay, Bayo, please go on.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kiki. Yes. Okay, yes, I agree with you, Dr. Kiki, that they use both hashtags together. They can both go concurrently, yes. Also, considering the time commitment necessary to build with followership on social media, how can one manage to be relevant when there's not enough time to do that? Well, it's all about planning. Just as I said, there's no two way to do it or to build huge followership when you are not consistent. So you need to find time to be consistent. The best time that works for you, morning, afternoon, night, to leverage on your social media platform. Like just as we are saying now, we say we are going to be having a Twitter chat on Friday, right? You can start coming up with content for that Friday. The truth is that there are some people that the best time that they send out their message and they are still relevant is on Monday, because on Sunday they're able to plan the content they wanted to share. They plan the content, they send it out on Sunday, on Monday morning before they start the business for the week. So you need to find a time that works for you and you need to be consistent with it. There's a lady on Twitter, call it Mo. Her name is Mo. She has a series that she runs on Twitter. And the series, people always look forward to joining the series whenever she's talking about it. So if you also want to have a series on Twitter and you want to be talking about something that will benefit your followers, you can tell them that every Sunday evening you are going to be having this. Before Sunday comes, you'll have planned for the conversation that you want to be having. So when I say consistency, it must not be every day. It will be twice a week. It could be once, but it must be something very interesting that can drive people's attention and will make them to want to join your conversation. So, but you have to create time if you want to remain relevant on social media platform. Okay, yes. You really emphasize on Twitter. What about other platforms? Yes, just as I said, the statistics that I showed earlier, we all saw that Twitter is a platform that most organizations they use when it comes to advocacy, and that is the truth. On Facebook, people use Facebook, but Facebook, when it was created, it's basically for family and friends, just to keep in touch. But when you're looking for a conversation, have you ever seen something trending on Facebook before? The answer will be no. I've never seen something trending on Facebook, like you see an hashtag trending. But on Twitter, you see breaking news on Twitter trending. I'm sure that you've seen that before. You can see it like 10, 20 different hashtags trending on Twitter. And that is one of the things that we are leveraging on, because you can easily see, because your conversation can easily trend on Twitter. And as a matter of fact, today, when you are looking forward to information about development space, the best place you can actually get them is on Twitter. Today, you see Tedros on Twitter, that is who executive director or director general is on Twitter. He shares information every minute there. Who does the same? They do less on Facebook, on Instagram. Twitter is the best, as a matter of fact, the best platform when it comes to doing advocacy and creating awareness. Other platform works. It depends on your audience too, and that's why it's good to map out your audience. But for One Health, for OAM Fellow, for this kind of work that we're going to be doing, we're going to be using more of Twitter than other platforms. I don't know if I answer your question there. Do you have any other question? I think that would be all. There's no.
Yes. Can we get a recording for this? Because some of us had network fluctuation.
Don't worry, I'm going to, okay, by tomorrow I will share all the recordings we've had so far. I think we have about three. So I'll share everything on the Slack. The problem is I don't know how many people really use that Slack platform because I don't seem to get as much feedback.
I do. I was there yesterday.
Okay, is there anybody that has not opened the Slack platform over the last 3 days?
If you mean just open, I opened, but I didn't do anything.
Okay.
Struggling to find my feet around it.
There is an activity around it already because I literally said that, okay, that we have our learning week, we have our learning materials, and we should start a discussion over it. And remember, I also mentioned that this discussion is part of what will form the kind of advocacy we'll be engaging on social media. So I encourage everyone to please use the Slack platform. Like, it's very, very important. These are the kind of things that will help us to be able to derive our messages or structure our Twitch chats that we're going to be doing every week. So yeah, we need to really use the Slack platform. Also, thank you very much, Bayo. Even for me, I also learned a lot from you, and I'm so glad that you're able to do this training for us. And I want to say that to start with, one of the first things that we should do after this training is to go to the what's it called? The Google form that the Google Sheets that we all completed to include our social media handles. We should go to that sheet and follow everybody, every Twitter handle that we see on that, and then follow each other. So I think that should be like a first action step for us. And then, like I said, I love the idea of having like a Twitter chat demo. So we're going to have that by Friday. I will finalize and liaise with Bayo to organize that and then send more information to you via Slack. So we are agreeing now that we are not going to be using email for that communication. We're going to be using Slack rather. So please expect further information on that on Slack. So is there any other question? It's already 1 hour already. So if there are any other questions, any other information that anybody wants to share before we close this meeting, please speak. Okay, there's no other question. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, all right then. So thank you for that. Thank God that we're finally able to have this training. So last week, I just want to say something briefly before we end. Last week, Bayo actually continued the training for almost 20 minutes, and he didn't know that we are not hearing him. So it was after we had, we had a long, like another a long discussion.
Network is bad.
So we know we had a long discussion after we concluded that we're not hearing him again, and then he continued speaking until well after 20 to 30 minutes, until I texted him that, Bayo, what happened? And then he told me that what was happening. I'm still talking. Are you not hearing me? So it was kind of a very funny situation. But thank God we're finally able to have this social media training today. Yes, it's actually very funny. So thank you very much, and we will talk later. I'll send the recording to the Slack platform by tomorrow. So
all right, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.